Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It is Thursday, July 23rd, 2015, and tonight we are treated to another shooting hoax, no doubt, by the mainstream media. Just last week, the trial for James Holmes, the Aurora, Colorado theater shooter, the shooting that took place July 20th, 2012, at the premiere of The Dark Knight Rises. Tonight it was the premiere of Trainwreck, a movie I've already done a video on because there's many curious things about it. We'll get more to that. But I just want you to notice how this is synced up. It comes the week after the James Holmes verdict, and it comes on almost the same date that the theater shooting occurred on 3 years ago, July 20th, 2012. You can read more about that if you forgot. However, this shooting hoax is all full of the familiar numbers we're so used to seeing. And notice here in this CNN cover shot, they have the FBI. I will remind you that the FBI was established as the Bureau of Investigation July 26th, 1908. In numerology, this date sums to 33, just like the gematria of the word police. In the FBI, the Bureau of Investigation was the first federal police force. The word federal also has gematria of 33. Federal Bureau of Investigation. They changed their name from Bureau of Investigation to Federal Bureau of Investigation on the date of March 22nd, 322. Talk more about that in a moment. So that headline right there, gunshots after gunshots, what CNN has up. Notice the coding here, Truth Seeker. Gunshots in Pythagorean gematria sums to 33, a number coded into all of the hoaxes. The police are involved in all of this. It's a Scottish Rite Freemasonry tribute. With the S exceptions, the word sums to 51, like the word conspiracy. Think of the Area 51, conspiracy. Gunshots after gunshots sums to 89. Think about last year, the Michael Brown shooting taking place on August 9th, all coded with 33. Royal Arch Masonry has gematria of 89. So all these numbers are connected to Freemasonry, Truth Seeker. Let's take a moment and watch Bobby Jindal. When we're done with that, I'll decode his name, show you his Freemason connections. All these people are agents in the hoax. Let's listen to this phony baloney. Here we go.
Tonight was an awful night for Lafayette, an awful night for Louisiana, an awful night for our entire country. Out of tonight's tragedy, you're beginning to hear stories of heroism and self-sacrifice. A couple of teachers at a movie together. One of the teachers literally jumped on top of the other, may have saved her life, and literally, took a bullet that could have hit the second teacher in the head. The second teacher was injured, was shot, but not life-threatening. She's one of the ones being discharged tonight. Despite being injured, the second teacher was able to pull a fire alarm. And
True Seeker, I'll let you know something. In numerology, 33 is called the master teacher number. The gematria of teacher is also 33. And right now, Bobby Jindal is talking a lot about teacher.
help to save other lives. When you think about it, two friends together, one jumps in the way of a bullet to save her friend's life. The other one, even though she's shot, pulls the fire alarm, saves other people's lives. A lot of anxious, not only family members, but friends in there. They got the call that their friends, their relatives been shot. They wanted to be here. We helped one husband who was over in New Orleans. He wanted to get over here quickly, try to expedite that so he could be with his wife. You just got a lot of anxious family members who are waiting for more information. Right now, the doctors and nurses are doing everything they can. Again, I want to thank them. I want to thank our first responders. Did an amazing job, even while they still were hearing shots fired, running towards the theater, towards danger. Look, it's going to be a tough night for a lot of families as they continue to get more information about their loved ones. I ask everybody, keep these families in your prayers, keep them in your thoughts, shower them with love. The best thing we can do across Lafayette, across Louisiana, across our country is come together in thoughts and love and prayer. We're a resilient community. When one of us suffers, we all suffer, but I think this will pull us together.
You know what's so gross about these people is how they try to pretend like they're great people, bringing us together, nice thoughts, send out your prayers. But these people know this is a hoax. And by hoaxing the nation, the people who are not aware and awake to the fact that their media is fake, these people are being horrified and they think the world's falling down around them and they think they're going to be the next ones to be shot at the grocery store or the movie theater or the mall or where have you. You know, the brain dead masses are terrified by this news, and these people go on here and legitimize it when they know it's a hoax. Talking all this happy crap. It's just gross. So anyway, Truth Seeker, let's do some decoding. CNN had this headline when it first happened. Shots fired. Also in that video we just watched, I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but we saw some interesting numbers on vehicles. 39, 47, 74, the numbers they get coded so much. Anyhow, shots fired at theater, their original headline, before there were any details about deaths or injuries, had Pythagorean gematria of 86. A number that gets coded a lot, especially around death. Caskets are 8 feet long, they go 6 feet deep. Hiroshima happened on August 6, 1945, a date with 33 numerology. Notice the words symbol, triangle, and pyramid all have simple English gematria of 86. Think about those words. Think about this nation. Think about our money and a whole lot more. Lafayette, Louisiana, in Pythagorean gematria sums to 79. The word murder has simple English gematria of 79. Mo Green, wrote about him on the blog this week. Character from The Godfather, just died at 79. The movie playing Trainwreck, we'll talk more about it. It has that simple English gematria of 122, though, a number being coded on a whole lot right now. From Confederate flag to Rachel Dolezal to plane crashes to a whole lot more. The theater that it happened at was called the Grand Theater, which has Pythagorean gematria of 58. They say the shooter is a 58-year-old white male. They haven't given out his name yet. I'm sure it'll come tomorrow morning at the latest. But a 58-year-old white man at Grand Theater. They also call it the Grand Theater 16. 58 plus 16 sums to 74. That number that gets coded oh so much. So many shooters with 74 names. A real classic is Oswald, 74 name. All sorts of coding on that incident, JFK. Also, 16 and 90 are the only two numbers when written out that have Pythagorean gematria of 33. A lot of 33 coding on this. Also, notice that Grand Theater in simple English gematria sums to 121 and 726 in English gematria. I was just talking about how the FBI was established on 7/26/1908. New York has this coding as well. New York was established on July 26, 1888. Having all sorts of revelation connections. Please see my videos on New York if you haven't. Something interesting, Truth Seeker, when this story first broke, the news networks used the name Brian Pope, but then they changed it to Jim Kraft. Police Chief Jim Kraft has Pythagorean gematria of 99, 33 times 3. Interesting number. They also said one of the witnesses was a Tony Moffatt of Mellow Mushroom Pizza, weird sounding shop. They used him in the story. His name has that Pythagorean gematria of 43, matching the word massacre. This number was coded all over the Charleston church shooting. Bobby Jindal, who we just saw talk Truth Seeker, sums to 96 in simple English gematria. And remember, the word Freemason sums to 96. So does the religion Satanism. They love to code 96 over and over. That name that they used originally, Brian Pope, sums to 96. We'll talk more about it in just a second. Here's a picture of the theater. On the outside, it just says The Grand. The Grand, gematria of 77, 33, and 44. If you've never seen this before, Truth Seeker, notice that the gematria of the in simple English gematria 33 and in Jewish gematria 113, two of the most often coded numbers in hoaxes, But also look at how, coded within the most popularly used word in the English language, showing that there's something much greater, much significant to these numbers, and there's a reason that they code them into the hoaxes over and over. Grand, having gematria of 44, like the kill number. Also, in Jewish gematria, 132, like 33 times 4. The theater it happened at. The officer who let us know that it was a 58-year-old shooter was named David Brooks, Sergeant David Brooks. Oddly enough, this name in Pythagorean gematria also sums to 58. What are the odds, Truth Seeker? 58-year-old shooter, all this 58 coding? Some other interesting gematria there as well. So what I wanted to point out is when the story first broke, they used this name Brian Pope. And this connects to the movie Trainwreck. City Marshal Brian Pope. Everybody was using this name Brian Pope. Now what's funny is if you go back and look at all these stories, his name has been erased and they've replaced it with the police officer who we just looked at a second ago. What's his name? Jim something. Jim Kraft. Everywhere it was Brian Pope, it is now Jim Kraft. Well, check out this name, Brian Pope. Brian, gematria 44, the kill number, Pope 52. And remember, the Pope foreshadowing has been coded into many things, including the Philadelphia train wreck, which we'll talk about, and we'll talk about how the movie Trainwreck even connects. Brian Pope also has that 96 gematria, like Bobby Jindal. They were at this movie Trainwreck, Truth Seeker, that stars LeBron James. Look at LeBron James' name in Jewish gematria. 923, like the date September 23rd, the date the Pope visits on. Recall that the Philadelphia train crash happened at 9:23 p.m. on a date with 52 numerology. 5 plus 12 plus 20 plus 15 equals 52. The Pope is the 266th Pope. He's visiting September 23rd, the 266th day of the year. All sorts of numerology with this. Also, the train crash happened in Philadelphia, a number that comes, or a name that comes from Revelation in the Bible. We were talking about how there's all this 726 coding, a number specific to Revelation on this here theater shooting. And Truth Seeker, I just want to take you back a couple weeks in time to the stock market glitch crash, and I want you to remember this coverage. A man was in the background of the market when it reopened with a 923 on his sleeve, and this woman kept talking about trains. Let's listen. With those trains still rolling as they have been all day, she's saying. Notice how she keeps saying trains still roll. Okay. Yeah, anyway, if you want to go back and watch this video, she just keeps going with the trains. And now here we have this shooting at a train wreck premiere, and we have this suspicious train crash. Also, something I know is Truth Seeker, this town Lafayette, Louisiana, is referred to as the Hub City, which has Pythagorean gematria of 49, just like Revelation with Pythagorean gematria. And not long ago, there was another one of these shooting hoaxes in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, which is also referred to as the Hub City. This 49 gematria, Hattiesburg, 49. The town's even 49 square miles. It just makes me wonder if this is just another Masonic tribute, maybe even something in a name such as the Hub City. Because these people are all about symbolism, numerology, gematria, and a whole lot more, and their coding is their biggest giveaway. That's why even things such as the FBI were established on dates connecting to Revelation, because in Revelation, It says that the people who rule in the end times will be referred to as the synagogue of Satan, the false Jews, the Zionists. And in this nation, that's exactly who is ruling: the Zionists, the false Jews, the supporters of Israel. Their names plastered all over our news stations, all over our movie studios, all over our record studios. Government officials, the people in the shadows behind government officials. The Zionists are running the show. They are laughing at us. The reason they code this number 113 so often is because in the Bava Kama 113, it says a Jew can circumvent a Gentile by lying to them. And that's exactly what they do with our media day by day. One more lie at a time. One more piece of programming. All to get us to comply with their agenda. Which boils down to a whole lot of nothing good. Slaves to a lie. How much longer do we let it go on, Truth Seeker? Where are they taking us? You know? Shooting at a train wreck. Almost in the exact same fashion and same date as the last theater shooting. That Dark Knight Rises film has all the revelation coding on it, just as Trainwreck and these other movies do. So to close, with regards to the shooter being a 58-year-old white male, I think this is also another tribute to James Egan Holmes, the shooter at the Aurora, Colorado theater shooting July 20th, 2012, 3 years, 3 days ago. Notice his name gematria is 58, Pythagorean True Seeker. James Egan Holmes, 58. Just like the age of the shooter tonight, who has not been named. Also, in Louisiana, Bobby Jindal, the man with the 96 name, his real name is Piyush Jindal, which in Pythagorean gematria sums to, what else? 58. We saw how the cop who announced the name was 58, the theater had a 58 connection. The word blood has simple English gematria of 58. And the word matrix has simple English gematria of 85, the reflection of 58. So perhaps that's why we see these numbers here. But they're obviously very significant to these two theater shootings, which I am now picking up on. Lots of talk of blood. This is what a psychological operations looks like, Truth Seeker. We're seeing them now more than ever. More than a weekly basis at this rate. So that's pretty much the message. Probably do another video once they release the names of the victims and the shooter. I expect more of the same. Alright, until next time.